The Scottish Exhibition Centre in Glasgow is a 10,000 sellout. Chris Eubank, the most controversial and complex character in British boxing, is packing them in once again. Hello, a very good evening to you all. Now, Chris Eubank is very much the modern prize fighter, but I get the impression he's more interested in the prizes than the fighting. Eubank, though, is defending the longest unbeaten run in British boxing. He isn't fighting for me or for any of you out there, unless you happen to be his bank manager. But he's had 32 fights and he's won the lot, but there's a very strong impression that his challenger tonight could give him a very rough ride. Tony Thornton, a Marvin Hagler lookalike, 32, from New Jersey, getting a long overdue shot at a world title. A hard nut, a big puncher, and one of the best finishers in the game.
It's called the hammer. It's where the firepower comes from. It originates here in the hips, but it ends up here.
Like many big hitters, he's got bad hands. He's had a bone graft on his right, but he's very, very confident.
It's a great opportunity for me to come over and show the people of Europe that I'm a formidable opponent for Eubank's title or anyone's title. I didn't get to be ranked number 1, 1, 2, and 3 by all the sanctioning bodies just on good looks alone. You know what I mean? I had to go out and fight and earn my ratings.
Eubank's made lots of friends in Glasgow. His public sparring sessions have raised £5,000 for children's charities. This is his 9th world title fight in 22 months. Last time out, he won a stinker against Ron Essett. Tonight, though, should be very different.
It will be, unfortunately for me, a good fight. Fortunately for the viewing public, it will be a good fight for the viewing public.
You say unfortunately for you, Chris, because you're happier going in there, not getting too banged about and counting the money next morning.
I have no intention of getting hurt. My intention is to do the job, leave the ring, and get on with my life.
Back home in Glasgow, New Jersey, Thornton is a postman. Eubank says he won't be giving up his day job.
And I said to him, I'm going to try and send him back to his job. I don't have any other job to go to. This is my way of life. This is how I earn my living. And he's an obstacle of which I have to move out of the way. I'm sending him back to his work.
Now then, some very good judges feel tonight is the night when Eubank gets his comeuppance. Tonight is the night when he loses that world title. My own feelings are that he'll be just too strong and too crafty for Tony Thornton. We shall see. Rejoin us in Glasgow in a couple of minutes. And welcome back to the Exhibition Centre in Glasgow. In these parts, it's good to have a minder, and Jim Watt is with me tonight. Jim, there's a big roar behind us. That's Tony Thornton trying to get a bit of local support, wearing a Glasgow kilt, I think. He's been a class act here, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think a lot of the locals have really taken to him. He's here, he means business. He's made a lot of friends since he's got here. He's looked the part, looked very good in the gymnasium. Eubank only likes to fight when he has to fight. I think this fella is going to make him fight. I think we're in for a cracker tonight.
And I think Thornton, he came here to Scotland and he told me the other day there are a lot of other Thorntons around up here. He feels at home despite the fact this will be his first fight outside the States.
Yeah, well, he has to remember this is not really Chris Eubank's home territory either. So I think that whoever produces the goods tonight, that the crowd are going to sway their way. Obviously Eubank is British, but he's not Scottish, so who knows, if this fella puts up a show, I think the support could swing behind him.
Well, Thornton all ready to fight, and Chris Eubank, who loves to keep his opponents, to keep everybody waiting, ready to make his entrance here. And here comes Eubank, and I think it's fair to say, well, there aren't many boos for Eubank here tonight, are there, Jim?
No, I think over the last couple of years, Eubank has made a lot of friends. Although we've had some less than sparkling performances, he's a great showman, and a couple of real good performances have kept the crowd on his side, so he's made a lot of friends and he has improved as a fighter.
There are two sort of Jekyll and Hyde characters up there tonight. Thornton as nice a fellow as you can meet outside the ring, and some of Eubank's public image is very different to the real thing.
I don't know if I'll ever see the real Chris Eubank. The couple of times I've met Chris, he's been very pleasant. I really got to like the fellow, so hopefully he'll be in a bad mood tonight and really get down to business.
Now, Jim, I think you suffered with the rest of us, didn't you? The old bore by the shore when this guy fought Ron Essett out there in Portugal. But he's got a real lively opponent against him tonight.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like the fight game, Jim. The ring is a terrible place to be sometimes when you like it, so when you don't like it, it must be a horrible place to be. So he only fights when he really has to fight. The only time we've seen him at his best is when the other guy has dragged it out of him. I think that the best of Chris Eubank will be too good for Thornton, but anything else he could lose his title tonight, because Thornton can fight. He's highly rated in all the world bodies. This guy can fight.
Well, he's getting a fantastic reception. He's almost an adopted Scot, is Chris Eubank. And any moment now it's going to be up and over. Into the ring. Ronnie Davis holding the championship belt, his long-time trainer, who said he gets Chris in the right mood. Well, he certainly looks up for this one. And that's the little gesture that Frank Bruno really enjoyed last time when he was with us, just patting those gloves together. Well, a 10,000 set out here, and Eubank is in and ready to do battle. Jim Watt has left me and gone down to join your big fight commentator, Reg Guthridge, of course. This has got all the makings. Very shortly, it's going to be up to the two guys in there. First of all, we will hear from the MC, Alan Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the other main attraction of the evening, promoted by Matchroom in association with Tommy Gilmore, promoted by the Daily Record and the Daily Mirror newspapers. And this is a super middleweight contest at 12 stone, over 12 rounds each of 3 minutes duration for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the world. Your judges for the contest are Ovi Olsen of Denmark, Cesar Ramos of Puerto Rico, Torben Hansen of Copenhagen. Your WBO supervisor, Ed Levine from the United States of America. Your matchmaker, Frank Turner from London. Your timekeeper, Jim Russell of Scotland. And ladies and gentlemen, when the bell rings and the action begins, the referee, Stanley Christodoulou of Johannesburg. Presenting and introducing you in the red corner with the black and the white shorts, with a record of 31 wins from 36 contests, 23 inside the distance, from Glasgow, New Jersey, the challenger for the title, Tony Thornton! And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent in the blue corner with the red shorts, with an undefeated record of 32 wins from 32 contests, from Brighton, the WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the world, Chris Eubank! Ladies and gentlemen, at the weigh-in today, both boxers scaled 12 stone exactly. I thank you.
So there it is now. Tony Thornton becomes very popular here. He said, well, if I break my hand again, I hope it's on Eubank's jaw. But the Scots certainly liked a bit of play acting there, didn't they, by the pose that we've now got accustomed to with Eubank. But he was telling me he's punished himself as far as he can go in training, and he said, I've no complaints now, I'm really fit. Both the same weight as the Master Ceremony said, 12 stone, super middleweight division. Now, it's not an easy name to remember, Thornton. He hasn't done any fighting this side of the water. But within the trade, in Atlantic City in particular, he's always known as a really good workman. The punching postman. He said, I'm quick enough to have only been bitten by one dog. And obviously his idol was Marvin Hagler, that's why he's had the look-alike shaven head. He originally comes from, born in Philadelphia. Well, there a left hook is a calling card, I promise you. A real tough fighting city, that. few lapses in his career, Thornton, and he says, well, when you've got a day job like I've got early morning and back to the gym, so I started to lose a bit of interest, but now I'm really pumped up now, rated by all the boxing authorities, as they now call themselves, a bit fragmented, as you'll probably know by now. Thornton had watched Eubank on video. He said I couldn't quite work him out. He was kind of weird, his stance and the way backward motion. He said, but I'm not here to evaluate him psychologically. He does as we thought, Jim. Thornton's going to walk after him the whole time.
Yeah, well, you can see already he's one of these solid old pros who marches forward behind a tight, high defence. He's going to make Eubank work it seems, and Eubank doesn't really like that. He likes to control the pace, box in little spurts, don't sustain anything unless you really have to do that. Well, this fellow, I think, is going to keep marching forward. He's landed a couple of decent shots already, and I think he's as good as we expected he would be. He's a little bit tighter than Eubank, and he's getting through with the punches. He's blocking most of what Eubank throws.
There he is going to walkabout as he does so well, actually. Eubank really confuses the opposition when he does that. He's good at stealing breathers, actually, Eubank, but also a good finisher.
That's a good left hook, Reg. Because this fella is going to force Eubank into making mistakes. Eubank doesn't really like leading. This fella's going to make him lead.
Oh, well out of distance. That's a bad habit he has, that Eubank with the right hand. So a little strut back to the corner, as only he can. He even lectures the crowd at gymnasium sessions. All very calm and collected there. Ronnie Davis, former Southern Area champion from Brighton, and Freddie King on the outside of the ropes. Calls his trainer the human pit bull terrier. And a little bit of interruption by the sponsors lady, the Daily Record and Daily Mirror. Great old character in the corner there, Wesley Mouzon, that is, who fought the great Ike Williams, for those who follow the fight game, and Bob Montgomery, and had a detached record. A very good fight on his day, didn't quite make it.
Round 2.
Second round then, and of course scheduled for 12. And a very experienced referee here in Stanley Christodoulou from Johannesburg. His 59th world championship. He handled the Pat Barrett Manning Galloway contest in Manchester. Now that was a real effective burst there by Eubank, Jim. He doesn't usually put them together like that in salvos, but he does there.
Well, he can do it, Reg. It's just that he very seldom sustains it. He showed an excellent jab in his fight with Malinga. It wasn't his greatest performance, but he showed an excellent left jab, and I think that would come in handy tonight, because this fellow seems to be going to march straight forward. So a good solid jab wouldn't be a bad weapon. But he looks very competent, Thornton, doesn't he?
Yeah, good old circuit pro, isn't it? 32. But he was fairly late taking the game up, actually. It began at 19. Well, certainly Eubank hasn't got to go looking for it, has he?
No, I think Thornton's going to do the same thing all the way through, keep marching forward, forcing Eubank to work. Eubank's punching a little bit wide kind of swinging punches, plenty of power, but Thornton's seen them coming and blocking most of them.
He's been in a melting pot a few times, Thornton. It'll take a lot more pressure than that to worry him. There's one on his record, it may not be a famous name, called Dave Tiberi, and he defeated him, and he was the fellow who went on to fight James Toney and lost the verdict, but there was actually it was almost an investigation into that. They thought it was so bad. So that one line on his record says that he must give Eubank a good fight.
He doesn't waste too much either, Reg. You know, nice and compact. A couple of times he started to throw a punch, realised it wasn't going to land and pulled it back. He doesn't really waste much energy.
Eubank was saying that when he was watching the tape, he said that if I hadn't have done, I'd have certainly been in for a lot of surprises. So he showed that much respect for the opposition. Yeah, the crowd are going to give the American plenty of encouragement, I'll tell you, when he starts landing. Round 3. Well, if Eubank has been fed a fairly easy diet of ordinary opponents along the way sometimes, certainly not Nigel Benn or Michael Watson, he realises now he's got a fairly hard job on his hands. This fellow Thornton is about as impassive as a ring post.
Making good use of the jab at the start of this round, Reg. I just wonder, can he sustain it? See, already he's going walkabout.
I think he's looking a lot sharper than certainly against the Essex fight, which, you know, is just like watching a plank walk in Portugal, that was. He's looking, you know, he's getting off a lot better, Eubank, than he's shown.
These punches are too wide, Reg. Too wide, they can all run all the way behind Thornton.
A worrying puncher, Thornton. You know, you say, well, he doesn't stop many, but he has. He stopped 23 of 31 of his ones.
I could see him grinding some people down too, Reg. After 7 or 8 rounds of this, I think a few people would be ready to lie down, even if the punching wasn't dynamic. It's a good pressure fighter.
Yeah, the accumulation of punches.
Good punching from Eubank, but they're not really getting straight through to target. Good high, tight defence Thornton has.
It's often good, Eubank, of bringing the punches right up through the middle, isn't he? I wonder if he's going to try that, get the punch through the guard there. Thornton digging the right hand of the body right above us here, but I must say he's very tough there, Eubank. You watch him in training, and really is muscled up and strong. Mind you, I was a bit impressed as well by Thornton's biceps, Jim.
Yeah, powerful looking there. Good strong arms, good thumping punches. He hasn't really been able to get much power into the punches. Eubank keeping him off balance, keeps moving from side to side, moving back. So these little flicking jabs, although they're scoring points, they're just little flicks. You can't get the power into them yet. There's some power into that one.
Yeah, even the crowd at the back of the hall thought that. He must have seen it coming, but obviously Eubank didn't. He wasn't part of that crowd. Oh, that's the little showdown stare. I've got to say, oh, that's what it's going to be all about. Have a look at that again, Jim, from the close-up camera.
Yeah, a lot of good work from Eubank then, but not an awful lot of the punches. That was a bad miss. Not an awful lot of the punches getting home on target. So although he's keeping himself busy enough, I don't think he's really making much of a dent in this fellow. He smothers everything that comes his way and comes back with nice little jabs of his own. Eubank has some problems tonight, Reg.
And there it is from a different angle.
So you can see how loose Eubank is at times. Big wide punches, no defence. Normally he can pull his head out of trouble, but this fella's walking right up to him.
Second out, round 4.
Fourth round then. And referee Chris Dulu making sure they don't come out for work too easily, too quickly. He certainly thinks he's boxing a lot, Eubank. Keeps saying he doesn't like the game, but he likes to turn it in what he thinks is a bit of an art form. In fact, I think he'd like to get a PhD in pugilism.
I tell you, Reg, it's difficult when the fellow just keeps marching forward. He's just smothering most of Eubank's punches, not troubled in the slightest. He just stays on top of him. This is the worst kind of opponent for Eubank. He hates this kind of boxing. Likes a bit of room to move, a little bit of time to think.
Yeah, and just remember, Jimmy, he is the mandatory challenger. I think if I could read Eubank's lips, and he said, "Come on, man," at one stage there. I don't know why he wants to trade it. Even at the distance would suit Eubank far more like that.
Thornton still making Eubank work, Reg. Still drawing the punches from him. These are big thumping punches, using up a lot of steam and not bothering Thornton. Eubank might be well advised just to steal a couple of rounds with his jab, get himself in front rather than use up too much steam getting nowhere.
Yeah, he's getting on his bike now, as you say, trying to steal a rest. Almost fell off it there too. You can hear those punches right above us here, thumping in. I tell you, I'm surprised that Eubank's standing there letting him punch himself out. That's a bit dangerous. Minute to go in the fourth. Just an example there of Eubank's uppercut. Is he going to try that again? There it is. A lot of those punches at him are landing on the gloves, aren't they? He's tucking himself well in there, Thornton.
Yeah, he seems quite happy just to let Eubank keep working. Maybe he fancies himself over the longer distance at a pace like this. A lot of good work from Eubank in this round, but again, hasn't really put a dent in this man.
For round 5. Well, Thornton's prediction that I'll stay right on top of him, he was telling us. He's kept his word okay there. But I'm more impressed with Eubank in recent fights.
Yeah, this is more like the real Chris Eubank, the one that realises he has to produce the goods. If he can have an easy night, he has an easy night. He doesn't worry too much about pleasing the fans. But this is going to be a hard night for him, and he seems prepared for it.
Yeah, as he blow the championship, his jaw will have to go back to debating. See now Thornton trying to win the battle of the lefts, isn't he, a bit? Doesn't really lose the jab very much. He's trying it in this round.
But Thornton is not matching up quite so close. He's trying to box a little bit more at long range, which isn't really working for him. I think he wants to keep matching up close to Eubank. If you give Eubank room to move, he's very difficult to hit.
And he's trying to cut the ring size down too, One of the larger rings, 20-foot inside measurement there. Well, the old postman gave him the old-fashioned postman's knock punch there. Jimmy doubled that one up.
Eubank having one of his lazy spells again.
Minute to go in the 5th. It's kind of Thornton, Jim. Looks like he can fight all night. He's only just getting warmed up.
In the standing trade, that's Thornton's game. You can see he's perfectly happy up close, letting the punches roll.
Obviously, Eubank been practicing defence a bit, boxing in the gymnasium with a very good boxer in Chris Pyatt. I mean, that's hardly called him a sparring partner. So coming up then, countdown for the 5th. Scheduled, of course, for 12 rounds. World Boxing Organisation Super Middleweight Championship of the World, 11 stone. 12 stone, I should say, and they both came in on the button, 12 stone. So referee Christopher collecting the scorecards at the end of each round and giving them to the supervisor, 2 Danish judges and a Puerto Rican. Have a look at Thornton's jabbing that I was referring to there, Jim.
Not a bad round there from Thornton, Reg. He kept nice and tight, kept marching forward, scoring the good clean punches. Wasn't a great round for Eubank then. I know it didn't come to any great harm, but I give Thornton the round. I have them actually level at the moment, 2 apiece with 1 even. So, as we thought, it's going to be a hard one.
And there's the old pro, Wesley Mouzon, who's to say not well known to the public, but within the old American trade he was highly respected. Sixth round. Eubank's actually held this championship at 2 weights, the light middleweight. No, the middleweight and then the super middleweight. That's right, not the light middleweight. He started his career as a light middleweight in Atlantic City, just in 4-round fights. He won 5 there. Oh dear.
That's that big right hand. I wish he wouldn't throw, Reg. If it lands, it's a beauty, but it seldom lands.
Oh, shoved him off there, and the referee was onto that. So now he's doubling up the left-hand punch now, the champion. It's an interesting contest, Jim, isn't it, this?
Yeah, they're actually standing off boxing now. Eubank has an excellent jab, and I think this would be a good night to start using that. He doesn't really want to let this fellow up close. If he can steal some rounds without really punishing himself, there's going to be some hard rounds anyway, which are unavoidable.
That's Thornton's style. He wears the opposition down like a virus, doesn't he? Well, stand still while I hit you, says Thornton, but Eubank's a bit too smart for that. Minute to go in the 6th.
So you see as the rounds wear on that Thornton becomes more effective. When Eubank is slippery at the start of the round, he has some problems. The longer the round goes, he starts getting closer and closer. He really finishes the rounds, putting them under pressure.
He almost got away with that wild right hand, but landed, as you saw, around the back of Thornton's head. Well, he probably slips punches quite well, Jim, with a shaven head like that. So the countdown for the end of the 6th. Coming up for the 7th round then. One or two solid punches by Eubank, Jim, but plenty of action really by Thornton. I wonder how you've got it at this stage, really. It's not easy.
I've got Eubank 1 round in front, Reg. I thought he won the previous round just with the volume of punching. Thornton was blocking most of them, but he kept busy. And he kept prodding the punching straight home towards Thornton's forehead. So he's got 1 round in front at the moment, but it's never easy.
Noticed earlier there the referee spotted another shoulder shove by Eubank, just gestured to him not to do it. I get the impression Eubank's a bit frustrated by that high guard of Thornton. He knows how to do it. He's tucking down now, trying to shoot an uppercut in there, I think.
Yeah, but Eubank likes to outwit his opponents, force them into making mistakes, but this fellow just keeps marching forward behind a tight defence, doesn't make too many mistakes. Thornton scores quite a bit with a jab just as the Eubank moves away. Just these little punches are almost scoring points while he's blocking most of Eubank's.
Although he showed us the scars on his right hand, I mean, it's incredible the graft they've done there on Thornton's hand. He's still using it, so it's not giving him any problem. He won his last fight on a count-out, but the opposition didn't mean much anyway.
Eubank's taken an awful lot of jabs, Reg. We don't normally see this from Eubank. I don't know if it's because Thornton's jab, that there's no great power behind it at the moment, but he's taken quite a few.
So they've both been cautioned without stopping the contest. They've got wave play on, but with low blows there. I think Thornton's inspired by the fact that he could actually go up his day job if he can win the championship of the world.
Well, I've got him nicking this round, Reg, because his point out again, clean on target. Whereas Eubanks had been blocked, part of the power taken from him, but all of Thornton's bang on target.
A real workman-like pro, this fella, isn't he? He used to turn them out on a conveyor belt in Philadelphia. He's got the adrenaline swab sticks there ready to use, but well, yes, just to touch him in the nose there. Jim, in replay.
See, he just never stops working, just keeps marching forward, and as we say, Chris Eubank doesn't like boxing like this. He likes to dictate the pace, but he's pulling away, but he's getting caught with these punches.
And co-promoter Barry Hearn there with "Come on, Chris," he was calling in the corner. You've got to work. And now trainer showing him how he thinks he wants it done, so there you are. But of course when the bell goes, they're the clever ones, they dive out the ring a bit quickly. Round 8. Well, it's getting a bit even then, Jim, if we consider that Thornton won the last round.
Yeah, well, that's only my card, remember, Reg, but I thought Thornton won the first round, the 5th, and then the last round, so I've got them dead level at the moment. Eubank is so effective when he uses that jab, doubles up. See, he stops Thornton from working when he uses the jab. Even if he's not landing cleanly, he stops him from working.
Yeah, it just keeps him occupied, doesn't it? What about the stamina factor here, John? What's your view of that? I mean, he's been known to blow a bit, Eubank.
Yeah, well, I think he's using a bit more snap now, Reg. He was wasting punches in the first few rounds, swinging big silly right hands round behind Thornton. But now he's tapered things down a little bit. He's not throwing silly punches. He's trying to make every punch count. But he's still going to have to keep busy. So I think he knows this is going to be a long night. Just a stumble.
Well, he didn't like that at all, Eubank. The stumble, and he's taken his time getting up there.
He's taking full advantage of the rest, Reg. That's not a great sign.
A little bit of a blow to his go, that one. It wasn't a punch, but he didn't like hitting the deck.
As I say, Reg, that jab could be very effective. Just keeps Thornton occupied, but he's marching through it now.
He didn't only telegraph that punch, he practically sent a postcard to the postman. So that big right hand is coming over.
Dangerous with the head, yep.
Oh, he made that pretty obvious, didn't he, Stanley Christodoulou? He didn't like that. You see, they can deduct a point. That can be dangerous. You lose a point in this game now, you can often lose a decision if the rounds are close. Only a 1-point margin. You can make them a 2-point margin if it's a one-sided round. And if either boxer goes down 3 times in one round, then it's an obligatory stoppage. Oh, it's a good burst here by the American. Coming up to the end of the 8th. Have a look at Eubank on the deck there, Jim, exactly what happened. Yeah, he actually missed with a punch and then got caught up with the leg a bit and he shoved him over. He was actually trying to get him off, wasn't he, Thornton, there? Well, almost getting the shower bath in the corner. Bit of a wash and brush up. And I would think now they're not too pleased about it. They're not too confident, really. He's certainly got that touch of Marvin Hagler about him. I wouldn't want to burden him with a direct comparison, but certainly looks the part, Thornton. Round 9. No use Eubank saying I'll save myself for the final couple of rounds or something, because this fellow might swap punches with him even better if they stand trading.
I don't mind Eubank backing off, Reg, if he keeps using that jab, because see, Thornton can't work when that jab keeps flashing towards him, then Eubank moves back out of range again. This is when Thornton finds it difficult. When Eubank stands still, he runs into troubles. He has to keep moving and keep using the jab.
He looks as though he's half a gear up now, isn't he, Thornton?
So Eubank always starts the round well. The first half minute of a round, Eubank looks good, but then he tends to start circling, dropping his hands. And that's when he gets caught with the punches as he pulls away.
certainly absorbed the blow well, Thornton.
What are missing in this round, Reg?
Well, he certainly needs to put his fight face on again now, Eubank. Very charitable in training here, people paying to see him and giving it all to charities. I'm quite popular in Scotland. Minute to go in the 9th. Good, busy round by the Americans.
Yep, some good defensive boxing from Eubank. Again, Eubank good in the early stages. Thornton putting him under pressure as the round goes on. Eubank might just have nicked it for the jabbing in the early part of the round, but again, he finishes the round under pressure here.
Oh, well, that's riled Eubank's a bit. That's done him a favour, actually. See, now he's really unloading it now. I mean, the challenge is his gunpowder, actually, but I didn't hear the bell there. Not hauling him back to the corner, just telling him which way, I would think. I hope he's not hauling him back.
I think Chris was in the middle of a bowing to the crowd then when they dragged him back. When you want to, in a fight like this, you want back to the corner as quick as possible, give them every second to get to work on you.
Yep, there it is, Jim.
Yeah, with some good work here from Thornton, good thumping, solid little punches, but Eubank finished the round with better punches. Eubank's, for the first time tonight, get a chance to use his power. These were good punches from Thornton. Look, see the way that the hip and the shoulder's turning with those punches. But Eubank come back with better. This was the start of Eubank's good work. That was a good right-hand shot. That got Thornton thinking.
Round 10. And this World Championship has really livened up now. It's always been an intriguing battle of wits. And now they're putting their punches together a bit more because there's desperation on both sides now, trying to make sure they can get a verdict.
Well, Eubank has suddenly started to look like the master for the first time, Reg. I mean, he came out of the corner then, really ready to go to work. Thornton took a long time to come off the stool, and he's standing at a distance from Eubank. Eubank, for the first time, really looks the boss.
Well, they might be ungainly right hands, but they're hurting, although he is blocking a fair share of them, Thornton, but I don't get too many points for defence like that. The aggression will count. Oh dear, nearly knocked him over with the wind of that one. So now they're on Eubank's side, the Scots. Giving it the chant.
A little bit of good news for Eubank, Reg. That's the first time we've seen him dominate. Oh, good left hook.
They gave the impression of being a bit drained there, the American, for a while. Maybe, well, he's too much of an old campaign ready to show that, but a bit concerned for him there.
Thornton seems to be trying to steal a rest here. It's the first time we've seen that happen.
Admiring his work a little bit now, Eubank, but he can afford to because he started around so well. Oh, that's right hand punch, the uppercut. That's probably the best. He's used it really, got some leverage in that one. Oh dear, referee trying to go. He didn't expect him to come that way.
Thornton trying to get to work now, but he's left it a long time in this round before he gets started.
Yeah, it's been a dominating round by the champion. He's trying to tire Thornton a bit, even by making him chase him like that, Eubank. Getting a lot of space between him there. Oh, a little bit of exhibitionism now, and the crowd love it. Oh, both going back to... Well, they've got to sort those two out in the wrong corner. And he's not in a hurry, is he, Eubank, to get back to his own? Americans weren't too pleased about that, we don't blame them. There you are, Jim, now there's Eubank getting through.
I think that's Eubank's best round so far, Reg. He really looked the master all the way through that round. Thornton came back with a couple of punches, but all the way through, Eubank was the man. And as I say, this was the first time he really dominated the action. He really pinned Thornton in the corner. Thornton was quite happy to grab hold and get the referee to split them up.
There you are, do it like that, says the trainer. He's got to really pump. I mean, he does his own thing, obviously, Eubank, but he's finally got to listen now to the man he calls his human pit bull there, Ronnie Davis, because it's been close enough for argument but for a long time. But now Eubank seems to me to have got back on top again. So round 11. Just a reminder, 2 Danish judges and a Puerto Rican, and the referee doesn't score.
Strongly that it was correct and honourable to go when they did.